what was this now? Was there something? Did I miss a phone call? Luck with that. Oh yeah, the caps lock has been turned off. I didn't miss a phone call, did I? No, just go through notifications. Yeah. Oh no, you're like letterboxed. Ah, no, don't do new. Don't do new. Oh no, you're like letterboxed now for some reason. Like, what the fuck is the deal? Oh no, I might have screwed up my GeForce Now somehow. I've got to get all of this started. Let's restore window. Okay, good. Good. Reload. Kick's not running. Okay. And make it big. You are a letterbox, damn it, and I don't know how to get rid of it. Oh no. Oh no, letterboxes, why? Oh. Okay, let's see if I close this. Ah. Hopefully that fixes it. I don't know. I doubt it though. Oh, maybe it's because my other monitor is a certain resolution. That also could be it. Let's change the other monitor's resolution. There, do that. Hopefully that fixes it, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it fixed it. I think I'm letterboxed. I can see it. It's ending. I'm significantly letterboxed. Why? Quit again. Yeah, but you're not doing this right, though. Let's go higher. Oh, maybe I was in other. That might be why. There, that's why. That's maybe why. I figured it out finally. I think that might be it. Yeah, we fixed it. So go back to play. I had set a different setting, a weird like letterbox setting, I think, by mistake. But at least I have my monitor back. That's good. I can have my experience like I usually have with a big, big, big television. There, I'm not letterbox anymore. Yay, we got it. Yeah, I had the wrong setup there. Cool, we're back to normal on my normal television screen. Yay. Yay. Oh, my kitty passed out. She's tired. Ooh, it's 5 o'clock. I might mix a drink. Ooh, I got some codeine pills today and they really worked. Might have some more of them. My arm did not hurt nearly as bad today. I really want to thank you.
Alpha. Okay, we're on complex alpha. And I see that my drones are taking a wee bit of damage, chat. A little bit of damage. Come on back. The MOA actually doing damage to our stuff. What the heck, dude? Bring them back. I am still in high sec, ladies and gentlemen. I am still in high sec. We're seeing Ocketer coming in. What the heck? So, Alpha is being defended. We have to go to Beta. We have to go to Beta to go defend it. So because I'm in a Galente ship, I get local armor rep is increased, turret tracking speed bonus, and my warp speed is faster. Nice. So they're really encouraging you to fly the Empire ship of the area that you're in. Good. So there's another elite guy here. Good. The elite ones we're going to go after first, because that's the ones that help my reward track go. So let's go do that right now. Let's go poke this guy with our hybrid turrets before we attack anything else. Hit him. Now, this is the Omen. The Omen is the one that was hitting us earlier, so let's call it the drones right now. Right now, go do that. Let's orbit this guy at like 7.5. Let's orbit him because he was doing a bunch of damage last time. And the holding MOA will be next, because the holding MOA scrams me. We'll go after that one next. Yeah, we do see that he's hitting me in the teeth. Let's get some good old-fashioned overheating going on this guy. It looks like we're keeping him at range still. That's why we're taking so much damage. He's definitely... He does the damage. You want to overheat against these guys. You really do, because they do a lot of stuff here. So, good. Looks like the transversal is finally up. Let's move this right here so we can see it. Angular is at 2.8. We kind of want to be closer to 2. Good. Good. Look at that. We're going to be a little higher because... Sorry, we're getting real low on our angular velocity. We want to be a little higher, but that's just how it goes right now. Looks like a little bit of overheating, and we are good to go. Keep on descanning. Good. And then hit this guy. Then hit this guy. We can stop overheating this now because I think we're good. I think we're good. Yeah, we do the damage. I want to survive. Ishtar with WAPs makes this very easy, I bet. I wanted a cheaper fit with this, which is what this is for sure. Once the elite guy dies, we are good to go. So, as you can see, chat, we are defending complex beta. We need to also go get gamma in just a moment. We need to make sure those are good to go. We will get some special mobs there as well once that goes. So the Orthrus, I thought he was helping us, but looks like he's not helping us anymore. So now, does that mean I have to defend all 3 sites? What the heck? Does that mean I have to defend all 3 sites? That seems pretty crazy, you know? It's alright to stay in the defending site. You want to fully defend it. Contested, uncontested means it won't go down or up. Capture means progress is done. Okay. Yeah, so I'm in beta. Alpha is still being defended. Okay. Alpha is still being defended. Gamma is contested. I'm in beta. I want to wait for beta to being done with its contesting. Looks like that's good. Okay, so good. We are now capturing. Good. We are now capturing all of those. Let's repair these while we can. All the drones are in. Everything's looking good so far.
On my iWatch, how do I get the battery to display on the screen all the time? Okay, press and hold, edit. Oh, cool, I put my battery on this thing. Fucking sweet. Oh, this cord came disconnected, and this thing's low battery. Damn it. Disconnect. Recharging. I think I rested enough. I don't know. It looks good.
I haven't seen a leech in a while.
Ah,
Think the
customer.
city got them all?
Sure. Got more than you can handle.
That's odd. There's a letterbox on my. Wait, what? Oh, it got moved. No, it's messed up. It's cut off. Wait, what? Yes, which is correct. Like, you have this cut off very badly. Why? Oh no, the stream's messed up now. Damn it. What is wrong with you? Maybe you have to make it smaller. Oh, that's why. It's because it was too big. There we go. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize. A lot of stream difficulty today because of my bad television screen. Fucking annoying. Okay, lock. There we go. That's much better. We fixed. And then we come back. I was like, why does it look so weird? And there we go. Now we're better.
Sure.
much blend do I have? 115. I want to keep going.
Yeah,
5 more, 10 more.
I'll see you later.
I don't want to worry about this for a while. Okay, here we are. You are in the wrong resolution. You should be fixed window, but you should be 2560 by 1440. There you go. Very good. Lots of technical problems today, but not the end of the world. Logs and messages. This inventory is way small now. Lock. Lock. I do so much work with UI that I'm like good at it now. Lock. Okay, I think we're good here. This could be different. There we go. Lock. Okay, so good. We're out in space, but hey, we're almost to Arnon.
Autopilot
Nice.
engaged.
That's good.
Approaching station. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. Docking permission requested.
Okay, we start the bloodstained stars.
Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
I have a level 4 in Dodixie. I didn't know that. Oh, a beacon beckons. Epic Arc Agent Security. Go. Approach the wreck ships and Menarch. Set.
Warp drive active. Autopilot engaged.
Wouldn't have to blow my wallet or risk an emulator blowing my PC. But it was obvious that rinsing the same thing again was not gonna work. Since people have already done that to death, I needed something more. So what about if I did more? With the overly controversial state Pokemon was in, what if I not only analyzed the games, but every single controversy surrounding them at that point in time, and their legacy, and give it from my point of view as someone who's been a bit of a blind fan throughout all of it. So essentially, what if I made a downfall video? Is it original? No. And God knows it for Pokemon. But is it different and ambitious from everything else I made previously? Yes, and I really wanted to go all out with it. I tried to make it cinematic, suspenseful, climactic. I even went from sitting on my chair enthusiast to standing in front of a shitty green screen from Amazon enthusiast. Gee, I wonder where I got all that from. Fun fact actually, the day I finished this video was the same day as my flight, in which I pulled an all-nighter to accomplish because if I didn't, I wouldn't get the chance to finish it until like a month or so when I got back. And well, by the time I finally got to uploading it, oh god, that all-nighter was 100% worth it. I know I previously explained what kind of thoughts flow through your mind when a video blows up, so this kind of feeling is not a foreign thing, but when you put genuine heart and soul and sacrifice so many other aspects of your life into a video, and then it goes on to blow up, is a whole other feeling that trumps everything else I've ever felt about YouTube previously. In many ways, this was my magnum opus, not because I think it's absolutely perfect, but because it gave me the exact same feeling that I had when I first watched that Bleach video all those years ago. Which, side note, I know since then he's kind of gone to kind of despise that video because a lot of stuff is wrong, but to me, I feel like I finally made the video I always wanted to make. This video reached heights I've never seen before, heights that I've lost hope in ever reaching at this point, and I was ready to take full advantage of it as soon as I could, with people in the comments recommending other Pokemon related topics I should cover, which I was really interested in. After about 3.5 years of trial and error and tutorials and goddamn everything, I could finally confidently say that this was the true beginning of this channel. My childhood dream came true, and after all this time, now is when everything changes.
I remember now why I wanted to switch off these headphones, because they're fucking hard to charge.
The outcome was so obvious. So fucking obvious. Just when you get a glimpse of the peak, you're sent tumbling down to the bottom of the mountain. And it's a shitty, sucky feeling that I've already explained countless times throughout this video already. Although there was one part I left out about what wanting to be a YouTuber can do to you, and it's how it can affect your everyday life. YouTube is obviously not a 9-to-5 job. You're not guaranteed any sort of money unless you get results, but the only way to get those results comes down to how much time you put into making videos. Time is kind of hard to come by nowadays, especially after you finish high school, and assuming that people who are trying to be YouTubers are in college or have some sort of job, typically the only time you have to work on videos is whenever you're not doing those things, which is usually only at night. But if YouTube is truly the only thing you want to do in your life, then you would find other ways to work on videos, specifically sacrificing other parts of your life. Socially, I was fine. I have a good support group around me, and other than the occasional hangout or trip I'd miss to work on videos, I never let my pursuit of being a content creator make me become some incel loner. However, when it came to my education, that was a lot different. Like I said near the beginning of this video, I never had any other dream careers other than being a YouTuber, and by the time I almost finished high school, that dream still rang true despite knowing how hard that would prove to be. But do you know what's harder than trying to become a YouTuber?
Every time I put
Telling your family that you want to be a YouTuber. So they did know about my channel, but I never really said my true intentions about it, and just said it was a fun hobby. And while I still applied and got into university, my true intentions were never to stay the entire time, and just do in the background while I pursue my true passion. I mean, that's what everyone else did, no? Jane Animations and the Odd Ones Out stayed like a semester before YouTube took off. Hell, Mr. Beast dropped out after 2 days or something like that. If I just give enough time and effort, eventually I'm gonna make enough where I don't need to go to school or find any...
We're gonna have to charge this thing. Pause this video.
Kind of part.
And we'll have to switch headphones. So... this should go over here. Yeah, where you'll just keep charging. Then I'm gonna pull my iPods. I want this thing to come down. It's pushed back up for some reason. I want you to come down way over here so you'll actually protect my elbow. That's good. And then you need to sync. And we'll go to Bluetooth. Bluetooth. Add device. How do Bluetooth remind me how to sync? Oh, there we go. It was that they were already synced. Is that why? Okay. No wonder. There we are.
You good?
Ah, customer.
We're
Feel
using
free to spend your credits.
this one for
Or
now,
get
so
the
let's go.
hell out. Your pick.
Part-time job. Yeah, don't fucking do that! If there's one thing for you to take out of this video, for the love of God, don't do what I did. This half foot in the door, half out is not gonna work out in university. Trust me. At no point was I fully failing, but I was behind. But in my mind, it was all gonna be fine. As long as this next video hits, everything is going to change. And nowhere did I have a stronger belief in this mindset than after that Pokemon downfall video. Because at that time, it really seemed like I did it. Like 500,000 views. That is borderline a livable wage if I was able to maintain that kind of viewership. And if you ask me if it was more worth it to strike the iron while it's hot or to focus on school, I think the answer would be pretty clear at this point. But what's also pretty clear is that there's a distinct cycle that's occurring here. A destructive cycle that happens anytime a video does better than I expect. And so my expectations get exponentially larger as a result. And when it, again, didn't pan out like I thought it would, I truly could not have felt more lost than ever before. At the beginning of 2025, I was at 6,100 subscribers, which was a lot less than I thought I'd be at this point. And looking at my channel and all the countless hours I put into it, I came up with it with a lot of questions. How did I end up like this? Where did I go wrong? Why did I do this when I should have done that? Was all just luck? Should I continue? Is it still worth it? Should I give up? Should I restart? Should I delete my channel? How are YouTubers who are younger than me already get so far? If a marginally successful YouTuber ever decides to retire or goes missing all of a sudden, they'll be showered with comments of people acknowledging their absence in some way. And you know, it makes them feel real, noticed, like their time on this platform actually mattered to people all across the world. And they fully deserve it. Feeling like your videos and your channel genuinely meant something to random people that don't know you is everything a YouTuber would ever want. But the same can't be said if a small YouTuber leaves. That level of despair if you're gone is not felt. No one's gonna ask or wonder why you left. And the worst part of it all is not the fact that you failed, but the fact that you failed and no one cared. Almost as if all those videos and hours of work you put into your channel never existed in the first place.
I was just not feeling it. Because at that point, I had taken so long between uploads, the audience that I had built didn't disappear, but no longer cared as much. And so even if I were to upload something that traditionally might have done well, I missed the train. And that was the low point, because I was like, this just sucks. I don't want to upload. I feel like if I do upload, if I put all this effort into it, there's a 95% chance it doesn't go anywhere. And I spent all that effort on just a personal satisfaction, but I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes you want people to like watch your stuff. It's a big motivation. And it is like, yeah, like you said, with family and friends, I can say like, oh, I'm gonna be making a video tonight or tomorrow night, and then I see people my age going to college and doing all this stuff and making extra money with a second job, and I'm like, I could be doing that. I could be doing something that doesn't have an inherent gratifying reward of like, because I don't get 1 million views when I upload. I do this primarily right now for fun, in the hopes that it will go somewhere someday. But right now, it's like I'm kind of putting all my energy and effort into this thing that I could be spending time in college or doing something that's actually more societally worthwhile. And so it eats at you a little bit. You're like, am I a failure? Am I not as good as other people my age? Am I wasting my time with a platform that's gonna die in 10 years? Like, I don't know. It's scary.
There was one video in particular, or one comment in particular I got, which sticks with me to this day. It really affected me at the time, and I think about it a lot. It was just a very simple comment someone posted on, like, I think the Pac-Man VR video or something. They just said, "Why are you trying so hard to be Scott?" And it was very simple and didn't say much, but it made me think a lot, because I was not making an active effort to be Scott the Woz. I always knew it was very Scott the Woz centric, like themed, inspired, all that stuff. But that was like the first time where I was like, man, fuck.
Because I think I do want this to be my dream job, right?
Yeah.
But that's not guaranteed. So I think that uncertainty just kind of scares me, especially like when I'm like an adult and like I have to try to take care of my own in the future. Because like with my parents, let's just say they're just like really old, so like me not being able to find like something that I can sustain myself without their help, and I feel really selfish trying to pursue something that I'm passionate in that he couldn't do, just try to make me live in a better future. So I feel really selfish, honestly.
Bringing my expectations up really high, expecting the next video to do just as well as the last video, and instead of 1,000 views, it gets 80 views. Like, that actually like hurt bad. Like, no engagement, no comments. It just felt like I threw a video out into the void. You know, when you go on a hot streak and then it drops down to like nothing, that's when I had to take like several months off, because I just wasn't feeling like making videos. Like, I would rather, like, it felt like a waste of time. I would rather like spend that time like playing a game or just enjoying myself instead of working on something that no one will see.
You know, I'm like 23 at this point. My girlfriend is gonna graduate college in a year or two, and I am starting to be at a point where I have to make YouTube an actual career. But if I cannot get this to a livable income situation within the next year,
You won't.
I am gonna have to start doing something else.
I think
If you're
the most
talking about it,
insecure I ever
you
felt
won't.
content-wise was when I became friends with people who were doing a similar thing as me. And it wasn't that I held it against them whatsoever. It was the fact that they were growing and I wasn't. But I thought that I was growing bit by bit, subscriber by subscriber, and eventually it was gonna snowball. People kept telling me, you're one video away from succeeding, you're gonna snowball. And I remember at one point, I was like, let me check the amount of unique viewers for all the videos I released this month. And I remember checking the unique viewers, and I think it was like the same amount of unique viewers on each video. It was like 50 unique viewers.
Hold on just a second. Hello? I'm sorry, start over again. What was that? Oh, nice. What's that?
Now leave me alone.
picking up some beers.
Oh. Well, suit yourself. Your loss.
Take it easy.
Haven't seen a leech in a while. You think the city got them all?
A customer. Sure. Got more than you can handle. I've got plenty in... Sure you don't want some extra blend for the road?
Warp drive active.
Okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call. So they're going to replace my television, which is good because it keeps going dim. Hello? Sure, yeah, I'll have to dig for it. Yeah, no problem. Okay, you want to do it right now? Okay, yeah, I was just curious. Okay, so I'll go look now and I'll see if I can find it. Okay, sounds good. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I've got a. We're filing an insurance complaint on this. What? No, what drones did you pop? You popped hammerheads. Oh, yeah, these are. Yeah, these are probably the best drones for this. What is my current damage? It is 351. If I call back.
To give the commands to a drone requires you to have an active target. Autopilot engaged.
Because everything you've heard is true. LeGrand is the only place on Neon or in all of the
Autopilot disabled.
Actually, I'm gonna stay here for a moment. I'm gonna dock is what I'm gonna do. So I have to step aside to go look for something and bring something for this insurance claim that we're doing. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry, I had a real life thing pop here. Didn't see it coming. Put my headphones away for now. BRB, sorry.
Docking request accepted.
So come on in to the brands and find out. Thirsty? Of course you are. So pop on into the Grand's Liquor and satisfy your cravings and your curiosity. Because everything you've heard is true. The Grand is the only place on Neon or in all of the settled systems where you can get blend. That's right, blend. A proprietary mix of alcohols and, well, wouldn't you like to know? So come on in to the brands and find out. Thirsty? Of course you are. So pop on into the Grand's Liquors and satisfy your cravings and your curiosity. Because everything you've heard is true. The Grand is the only place on Neon or in all of the settled systems where you can get blend. That's right, blend. A proprietary mix of alcohols and, well, wouldn't you like to know? So come on in to the brands and find out. Thirsty? satisfy your cravings and your curiosity. Because everything you've heard is true. LeGrand is the only place on Neon or in all of the seven cities.
Hi, kitty. Well, don't know. Hold your. This is a copy. That's this thing. Thomas Will Power other stuff is this Siemens Jones delivery fifth wheel stuff BB kits function. Maybe it's over there and I'm wasting my time. Maybe BB kit self-pumping pump units TCI very carefully and review the tube. Okay, this is really pull it aside because we're going to. Okay, so and I pulled the directions to the wall out in case we need to remount. When we need to remount, it will be there. This is going down. I can release to wall closing up, and then all this other stuff. This was some kind of rats shredded some of my paper. We're lucky that it's this. Okay, I got what I needed, I think. This stuff. Okay, and then the backpack. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. Had to go. So we're replacing this television. It's been giving me problems because for $85 we got an insurance thing on it, and they'll either replace it or fix it or something. I don't know what they're gonna do to it. And that's good because the TV was $1,000. We got it on Black Friday for $700. It's a good TV, so they're gonna replace it. That's really good news for me because it has been affecting my job pretty badly, unfortunately. Oh, good, we're on. So, this goes back to the cup, or well, over here anyways, yep. So I've got family dinner here in about an hour and 10 minutes. I'm gonna mix a drink. I forgot about that. I will be right back. Are we doing good? Yeah, we're doing good. All right, BRB. Yeah, we mix a drink. Okay. Okay, I am gonna have a drink, a little drinky poo, and we'll have some nice Canadian codeine tablets, 4 of them. That will be a nice evening. A surcease from the pain of my broken fucking arm. All is right with the cosmos, etc. Yay for Canadian sensibilities where they don't make codeine illegal. Fucking idiots. Not Canada, but America. Hallelujah for long shot dreams. And amen for a good stiff drink. Know that I can't sleep, no matter how hard I try. Okay, so going to wherever this place is, the Tar. Got to get back on the Starfield because I was inactive in scoring blend for premium members.
On each video, there was no growth at all. And whenever I checked like whatever relevant stats in the past, it was all similar, that I wasn't growing at all. I was just hitting that same benchmark. And I broke down because the people around me were growing. The people around me were getting monetized off of like 1 or 2 videos. But I remember it shattered my conception of what I could do, because I thought that I knew enough to make it, and I felt numerical, genuine, inarguable evidence that I didn't.
The landscape of YouTube is so different from what it was 10 to 15 years ago. It seemed like it was so easy to just make a video and have it blow up and immediately launch your career from there. But now, that is just no longer the case. One video blowing up doesn't guarantee you success, and honestly, it just stresses you out. It feels like a crazy high that you're struggling to get back to again because it felt so good the first time it happened. It also feels like there's no room to blow up when there's so many established creators already. Creators that have literally been doing this for years, with hardcore fan bases and entire teams working with them to pump out videos that you've probably want to make, but now are afraid to do so since there's no way your videos can live up to the scale of theirs. Because as a YouTuber, you're not just a YouTuber. You're a marketer, an artist, an actor, a storyteller, a video editor, a comedian, maybe? There are so many things that YouTube wants you to be that you have absolutely no experience with. As of August of 2025, there are over 115 million creators out there, and I'm supposed to make myself stand out compared to the rest of them? How do you not let that get to you? And well, you can't, because no matter how hard you try to fight it, that will get to you. And so, why bother? Why deal with the headache of making videos, analytics, online hate, copyright, and just the overall misery of being a YouTuber? Why after 5 years am I still doing this? Because it's just so goddamn fun. Whenever I'm taking the bus back from school, going to the gym, jerking my shit off or whatever, and the idea for a video pops into my mind, I will never not be thinking about it until the day it comes out. I talked about it a little bit before, but that central idea evolving to a layered video with a structure and specific talking points and jokes I think are funny, and seeing it all come together is something I will never get tired of. And yeah, even though sometimes I could get stuck and procrastinate or worry about how a video might end up performing, knowing that I'm still striving for the same goal I had when I was like 8 years old and still enjoying it as much as I am now is pretty cool.
In, I think, late 2024, early 2025, I ended up finally entering the YouTube partner program, and I would constantly think back on that, like, I've made it this far, I still haven't, like, been paid a single time, even though I'm now eligible to get paid. Like, let's move on to the next milestone now. Like, I've got the 1,000 subs, I've got the watch hours, let's try and hit another goal next. Just like a reminder of my success would keep me going.
It's like when I made my Fatal Frame 3 video, I was like, yo, if this shit doesn't blow up, I'm gonna stop making content creator, cause I thought this was gonna be like a guaranteed hit, and then it kind of flopped. I was like, man. Then I made like 2 more videos afterwards. So I think I just like this stuff.
Yeah,
I just like it too much to be
right.
quitting on it. Yeah.
I eventually got out of it, and I pulled myself out, and I would think about the words that the people who believed in me would say, and it just helped me get back into the mindset of wanting to do this because, you know, I enjoy doing it. I like making films, whether people watch them or not. I like making them, and I don't ever want to stop doing that, even if I have to prioritize a job now, even if I have to prioritize other things in my life because I'm an adult. Even after all that, I will still, you know, take the time that I do have to work on the things I enjoy, which is this.
For so goddamn long, I tried to convince myself that there was some kind of secret to YouTube, something that other YouTubers know that I don't, that I had to figure out in order to succeed.
Which is, you can set yourself on fire or you can be sexually attracted, one or the other, but you can't be anything else. And if you set yourself on fire, you have to do it subtly and probably over time, and maybe you do well.
And I think I finally found out.
Otherwise, you're basically a sex idol symbol.
Out what that is.
It's entertainment, it's hard.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the secret to YouTube is Nothing. Like, nothing at all. Yeah, I know, Kung Fu Panda was fucking right. At one point, my answer was just make a good video, but then after thinking about it and talking about it with other creators, I realized that there isn't really a criteria for what makes a good video. The difference between the most highly edited video imaginable and someone sitting at their desk and rambling on for like 10 minutes is different for every person and what they value when trying to watch a video. And you can really tell when it doesn't matter depending on how those videos end up performing. And personally, I find it equally terrifying that there is no clear set of instructions to follow and it literally just feels like luck, but also motivational that I don't need to worry about doing anything super specific, and I can just simply make a video that I think other people will enjoy. Because YouTube is an ever-changing platform. What it's like right now is completely different from what it was a year ago, and even more different from what it was a year before that. And you can try to get caught up in all the tips and rules that you gotta follow, when in the end, it will get you absolutely nowhere. And even if it did, if you endlessly try to chase that algorithm, you'll only end up creating videos that you will never feel creatively proud of. A lot of people say that this platform has changed for the worse. And while in some cases I can definitely see why, like, Jesus Christ, God damn. I'd argue that it also became a lot better in more ways than one. YouTube Shorts, despite being a TikTok/Reel alternative, is a good way to market your channel. Channel memberships works as a way for YouTubers to have a more stable income and a way to support your favorite creators. And A/B testing is everything I've ever wanted, now seeing what thumbnails and titles work and what doesn't. And even without all that, I feel like I've only seen more videos pop up on the recommended page with basic thumbnails or titles and a small creator, but still succeed because they're simply good videos with people behind them that are trying to creatively express themselves any way they can. That's how my favorite creators got big, and that probably goes for all your favorite creators as well. And that's one thing that will never die with this platform. The thumbnail is no lie. If you want to become a YouTuber, you will fail, but eventually you will succeed. And I could say that about any sort of profession, but there is no better representation of that than with YouTube. Because even with every failure, the very day you start your channel, you will only grow. Every day that passes, your channel will be bigger than it was yesterday, in subscribers, watch time, views, anything. For a long time, I thought about deleting a lot of my old videos as they represent a part of myself that is so far removed from what I am now. And they're also cringy as fuck. But I think I'm gonna leave them up, as even though I still consider them to be subpar videos, they've become a reminder of how far I've come from that high schooler who thought his first video had no chance at failing. And the truth is, I'm gonna keep failing. Hell, I'll just say it, my last video didn't do as well as I'd hope. And is it because there's already a ton of videos about his downfall already, the title was not as strong, or maybe when I first uploaded it, I spelled Jujutsu Kaisen wrong, even though it was the only thing on my mind for like 7 months, possibly leading to less traction on the video? I don't fucking know, maybe. But also, I have no right to complain at all. These videos I consider to be a little bit underwhelming are someone else's goal right now. I mean, hell, it was my goal at one point. And I guess it's just a testament to how far my channel has gone over the years, despite how many times I've changed up my content. Because having said that, it's hard to say where I'll take my channel next. I mean, I've covered sitcoms, video games, anime, whatever this video is, and I still have other interests I want to talk about. Like, there's just certain sports I've alluded to I'm obsessed about that I think I can make some pretty cool videos for, but such a big departure from what I'm already making, but the video ideas are so goddamn cool, but I won't get into that now. What is your biggest piece of advice you give to a small creator or to anyone starting out on YouTube on a technical or a mental level?
Learn to edit. Listening to other people and what they have to say is one of the most valuable things you can do. I think that, yeah, having a good head for constructive criticism is very smart for you. Not like the, oh, you're doing great, I love you, I know you, like, your videos are awesome. Like, those people, they're not critiquing your videos. Or the people that say, you look ugly, I hate your video. Like, that's not real criticism. But somebody's saying and taking the time to write down, like, I like where you're going with this, but I think you did it pretty poorly. That's not somebody doing a dig at you, that's somebody really trying to help. Having that mentality, having that eyesight of, okay, these people are not hating on me, they're just trying to help out, has carried a lot of the success I have in my channel today. Like, this is a side topic, but it seems really demotivating nowadays with like AI coming and like could take over this field or make it seem like it's impossible, but it has never been easier to do this. It has never been easier. Computers are good all around. Software is free, readily available. You can easily get Adobe alternatives to everything. You can film on your phone. Like, it has never been easier to make videos. So it's like, just keep going.
Don't fall into the pitfall of focusing on quality over quantity. Like, there's always a saying going around, quality over quantity, but I think leaning way too into that can be incredibly harmful for you, because if you're taking so long to put out something just because you want it to be as perfect as possible, especially when you're a small creator and your goal is to grow, if you spend, 2 months making a video, in those 2 months, if you focus less on quality, like, you could have gotten like 3 or 4 videos out in that time, which is way more opportunities
Or like me, 2 to 4 every single day.
for your channel to grow.
This is aimed at like actual like small creators who might not know anything about what they're doing. Thumbnails and titles can be more important than the video itself sometimes. Like, there has been so many times where I've made a video that I think sucks. Like, I would not watch this, but it has a good thumbnail and a good title. And that was like, I think a lot of small creators, like, I've known people like this, and I myself have partly like had this sort of mindset. You cannot moist critical your way to success. You cannot just upload slop and be like, but I'm funny in the video. Like, that should be enough. Like, no, you need to make a good thumbnail, good title, have a good unique topic or a good outlook on a topic, whatever. You need to bring something.
I would say, honestly, if you're just starting out, don't be afraid to be inspired by someone else, because that's what everyone usually is when they start doing something, not even YouTube, not even videos like that. And I would say, most importantly, just do it out of passion. Like, obviously it's good to want, get success from this. And I'm not saying I'm above that, like, oh, I only do YouTube because for the passion, I don't expect any money from this. I'm morally above that. No. Obviously, if my channel blew up and I started making, like, a bunch of money, yeah, I'd be fucking excited. Like, I would be so excited, honestly. Like, it would be the best thing ever. And I'd be like, yes, finally, validation for all my hard work. I did it.
Audio.
I think
I'm almost
a lot
done.
of people are too concerned with whether or not it's okay to want to make money on YouTube. And it is 100% perfectly, like, not morally
I don't care
compromising
about money on
to want to
YouTube.
make money off of your work. You work hard to make these things. And
If they ever pay me, it's going to change the world. I don't think they will.
people get to watch them for free, and if they enjoy them, I feel like it's not wrong to feel like to want to be.
I mean, you guys do pay me, and I think it is changing the world. You guys pay me, and it's changing the world. Like, very slowly, we start to see hope again.
compensated for that. It might feel like wrong to be.
I
like,
can buy the
"Oh,
games that I want to
do this just for
buy.
passion."
You guys are
should
fucking
do
awesome.
it
You
because you're
guys
passionate
empower
about
me
it.
to buy
Artists-
games. Like, just this month, I spent your Twitch check on Dragon's Dogma 2 and Borderlands 4. Did you mute?
Money for the art that they create. Don't feel bad for wanting to make money off of this. Just do it. Like, seriously. It does not matter. No matter what, you probably will not get a lot.
I don't think money has anything to do with this, and I think you're wrong. I think you should have impact.
Views. Luck is a big factor in all of this. So don't feel bad if you don't do well regardless of whatever you make. A lot of it comes down to luck.
YouTube has made me understand myself better and also the world around me better. I have found myself, both on my channel and because of my channel. There are aspects of myself that I didn't want to accept, or I would be like, oh no, this would be more marketable. And it's made me understand myself better, because the best way to be a YouTuber is, it's in the name of the website. It's being you. And I think the best thing that you can do is be yourself, and also
That's what I do.
always try to improve. If you haven't made it, if what you're doing isn't working, try to improve. If something you did worked before and it isn't now, improve. Always be improving and always be yourself.
You're gonna
Always be
suck
moving.
ass
Always
when
be
you first
elevated.
start off. It's just bound to happen. Very few people hit it big on their first video. You need to put out some bad stuff, like whether it's you're not confident with how you sound or how it looks or the topic. You just gotta kind of do it. You're gonna learn from every single one of those experiences, and you're gonna get better every time. It's a paradoxical piece of advice, because it's, do not be afraid to be inspired by something. If you gotta start,
do not be afraid to be inspired by yourself. I am inspired by myself all the time. I branched out into like Guitar Hero and Fortnite and Overwatch and Rust and 7 Days and World of Warcraft Retail. I have challenged myself across so many fucking games. What do I play all the time? EVE Online is my main. That's a hard game to main. Ooh, I have a storyline distribution agent. Level 1 distribution. Let's do that first. Epic Arc Mining. 1,000 Veldspar, sure. In Sharu? Yeah, Sharu. So we have to go to Sharu with 1,000 Veldspar. I don't know if I can carry that, but I'll try. Veldspar. Did you wait? I'm just gonna try again. Fuck it. Veldspar. I need 1,000 Veldspar, please. 1,000 Veldspar. 10,000 disc. 1,000 Veldspar. Okay, there we go. Cool. And I'm almost full, but I got it. I got it. So storyline distribution. You want 1,000? Sure. Okay, we go out there. That's the next place that we go. Yeah. And then the Epic Arc Mining Agent. Okay, and then I go back to Arnon. But that's okay. We're going to do this first. So undock. Oh, did I take it with me? Yes, I did. Yeah. So, okay, we're gonna go buy some blend. I feel like a fucking crackhead, this stupid ass game.
You good?
Yeah, I need blend though. Fucking give me blend, bitch.
You can't buy it anyway. It's got a special.
Stop.
Hey, if you're going, the primary there. Now that for your in. Well, what a coincidence.
I want more. I want candy, bubblegum and taffy.
Plenty of ice cold drinks in stock.
Nope, I'm gonna wait again. I'm gonna wait again, and I'm gonna get 50 more, or whatever, like 40 more. I want 200 blends, so I can just fucking pound them. You understand? I'm carrying around a fucking Red Bull fucking case full of blends, and every single time I see somebody who flashes red at all, I just go blah. I drink the energy drink, and then I'm just like blah, and I get in their fucking face, blah, and I punch them in the face like 57 times, and then I'm just like blah, and drink the next one. I'm like, all right, who else wants some? I look around, there's some other feckless fucking guard. I go over and I take his gun, I go bow, 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 right on his butthole, and his butthole dies. Come on in to Legrand's and fuck.
Videos just to like get yourself doing it. It's something you might enjoy. Do it 100%. But don't get stuck in a format. If you feel like you're in a rut, your views aren't going up significant amount, do not be afraid to change it. Try different stuff.
The point of this video was to shed some light on the experience of being a small YouTuber, from myself, a bunch of awesome creators I've interviewed for this video, and for anyone watching this who was or still is a small creator trying to get their channel off the ground. And just say that their experiences are felt. We've all gone through the same thing, and you shouldn't be down on yourself for any failures you might experience. If you truly love making videos as much as I do, then truly just keep going. And the second point is...
Okay, it's over. I'm done. This thing took way too fucking long. Let's go. Now, I had a video with a bunch of shit queued up. Yes, but I had stuff queued up, though.
More red flag surfacing regarding this white...
Yeah, so...
Sup, you beautiful bastards. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, your daily dive into the news.
I'm
It
gonna
is
see Philip DeFranco.
Tuesday, and there's a lot that we
I'm
need
going
to talk
live to see Philip DeFranco.
about today to keep you in the loop. So buckle up, hit that like button, and let's just jump into it, starting with this. Epstein survivors finally got a chance to speak at a hearing in Palm Beach today. And as this case is
Really?
just dragged on and on with no answers and no accountability, some outright just said they don't think it's ever actually going to come.
At this point, honestly, I don't think justice will ever be served in this case. And that's just my experience of the past 20 years.
That's a sad reality survivors have to live with. And for context with this hearing, it was held by Democrats in the House Oversight Committee who have been pushing to get an official hearing on the books with survivors, but haven't been able to do so. Instead, they went down to Palm Beach to organize the shadow hearing, which had no input from Republicans. So the goal is to learn more about Epstein's sweetheart deal and the other ways that the DOJ failed victims when it comes to the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And there was no shortage of criticism of how both the state and federal officials dropped the ball.
The Department of Justice released documents that exposed our names, our social security numbers, and deeply personal information. Survivors' and identities were made public. Husbands learned about their wives' abuse for the first time.
What's up?
Children learned about the abuse of their mothers from reporters, from strangers on the internet, and in some cases, from other kids at school.
When we came forward
Yeah, I
and we
want
told our
some, but you don't
stories,
sell it. Sure you don't want some extra blend for the road? I do. I've been sitting here for an hour and a half. What the fuck, man? Here I am again. I've got the blend monkey on my goddamn back. We wait again. God damn it, I want 200 blends so I can just fucking fight for a while and not really worry about it. Slow down time so you guys don't kill me.
man, I was treated like a criminal
Slowing down time is a good solution to Bethesda's problems.
by the federal government.
Jeffrey Epstein was under house arrest for the molestation of underage girls at the exact time he was abusing me. The fact that he could commit those acts made justice feel impossible to me.
If we continue down this path, the question isn't whether abuse will happen again, but who will be the next Jeffrey Epstein.
And while only a handful of survivors spoke, they repeatedly emphasized that over 1,000 victims endured abuse at Epstein's hands. Right, and the family of Virginia Giuffre addressed why so many still feel like they can't come forward.
For years, survivors have been asked the same question: who were the names? The truth is, many survivors stay silent because many of these individuals still hold power, wealth, and influence in our society.
You also had members of Congress speaking out, and Robert Garcia said that the committee would be releasing a new report on Epstein's bank records showing how Alex Acosta, who was a U.S. attorney in Florida and later Trump's labor secretary, created a sweetheart deal for Epstein that allowed him to continue his abuse. He also questioned why leaders from multiple administrations, both Republican and Democrat, didn't do more to help these survivors.
How could Les Wexner have never been interviewed by our own government, who was the source of most of Jeffrey Epstein's wealth and was never questioned? How can some of the folks on this document the FBI had in their possession not ever have been questioned?
Also, you had others like Jasmine Crockett calling out her Republican colleagues for not participating in the hearing.
The Republicans could have shown up today too. They didn't. So let me be clear, I am going to be full on partisan. You have to vote. If you care about this, you have to vote, and you have to understand who is fighting for you.
Now, for the Republicans, this week you did have James Comer, the chairman of the Oversight Committee, asking a former JP Morgan executive to sit down for questioning related to the Epstein probe. Also, you had members of the committee frequently bringing up the fact that Pam Bondi is going to be sitting for testimony in just a couple of weeks. And there you had Garcia putting pressure on his Republican colleagues.
That we expect Republicans and James Comer, because it's his decision alone, to ensure that that testimony is recorded under oath and released to the American public. The survivors deserve nothing less.
So once again, you know, to kind of repeat what the survivors said there themselves, right now, the government's really done nothing but fail them to the point where they don't think that justice is ever going to come. And even though there are more upcoming testimonies, Democrats fear that political games are going to prevent that from actually moving the needle. For example, if Bondi's testimony isn't recorded, Republicans can just spin it however they want. Though that brings us to what Crockett was kind of pushing for, and I'd asked the question of, does this make a difference in the midterms? Does it influence how people vote? Right, which on that note, it brings us to a crucial House race involving one of the lawmakers who
210 blend. We're done. I got enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll see you later.
I know you will. I know you will. I spent a lot of money. What did I spend? I spent like 50 grand or something on blend. God damn it, I spent 50 grand on Blow. What the fuck? Blend, I'm sorry, Blend. I spent 50 grand on Blend. What the fuck, man? Sometimes you stand outside the liquor store and you wait for the dealer to arrive. It's just the reality about life. Sometimes it's just like that. Talk to Clover. Will Clover talk back?
Excuse me, would you like to participate in one of our studies?
Hey,
no.
You wanna dance? Yeah, you're new here, aren't you? Name's Boone Morton, but if you're here for something a little... Then what are we waiting for? Here, we'll take a look at the... The Astro Lounge is one of the safest places in all... Then I would say you'd be interested in the Astro... Excellent.
Docking permission requested.
Excellent choice.
Docking permission requested.
And since you'll be living in the same town... While your enthusiasm... You can look, but we...
Ooh, 7 Aurora. But I mean, what can I do with this? But it's like cheap right here. It'll sell really well at the den. Yeah, we're gonna go to the den and sell that for a lot of money.
That depends on if you're hungry. Alright, well, I've got a couple of... First, there's our best seller, Sangria Astral, which is a curiously refreshing, fruit-infused red wine served in a commemorative bottle. But if your palate is a bit more refined, we have our Bayou Private Reserve, a painstakingly distilled...
Bayou, you idiot, Bayou.
Arcturan crystal. That enough? Or are you hungry as well? Ah, a bit of a foodie, are we? I can't say I blame you. We're just as renowned for our cuisine here as we are for our drinks. First, let me tempt you with our melon caviar. Delicate, salty spheres of melon, hydroponically grown in our private aqua garden. And to finish, our lounge special strip. A grilled soy-based steak served with a steaming side of chipped potatoes. It's delicious. Anything there sound appetizing? Or are you looking for something else?
Sounds really good.
Of course. Sure.
Got any more Aurora? God damn it. Why do you keep forcing me to impersonate a drug addict? It's so annoying. Yes, I'm a drug addict. You keep pulling it out of my gameplay that I'm a drug addict. Yeah.
Good friends.
I'm chem reliant. What can you say? I'm chem reliant.
Oh, he's a good man. Cares a lot about the citizens of Neon, making sure they're all employed and well taken care of. A real humanitarian. Pretty amazing, isn't it? That's Borealis, only 19 years old, and yet she produces some of the most heart-pounding... I don't know where she gets
Probably
her
20,
inspiration.
24 now.
Betting all that free Aurora she gets has something to do with it. Start with a drink?
Yeah, what does the rest of this stuff do? Nothing. Addiction. Oh, Adachrome. Okay, you sell this like interesting stuff. What else do you have that's good? Do you have anything? Oh, there's some damage resist stuff that's super good, like that Kodos Crater. Yeah, that Kodos Crater is really good. Energy resistance is good. And then, wait, where? That's Sullivan's Reserve. Those are really good too. Okay.
Come back soon.
Okay. Where do I go?
Having fun?
5, 3, 9 days ago I got something, but...
Autopilot engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Welcome to the Astro Lounge.
Sounds like Daft Punk.
Try Aurora yet? You won't regret it.
Scram, I'm on duty.
Approaching Stargate.
Logging auxiliaries hacking process for analysis.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Hold her right there. I can't remember.
Approaching Stargate.
pleading the Epstein charge, or because we are just now 7 days from the most expensive House primary in American history, and we've got a Kentucky attorney releasing a video alleging serious personal misconduct by Representative Thomas Massie. Though that, as you have people pointing out that same attorney is on the record backing the opponent that Trump recruited to take Massie's seat, and he lost his own primary against Massie 14 years ago. Starting with the specifics of this primary, you have Kentucky Representative Thomas Massie running for his 8th term in Kentucky's 4th congressional district. The primary is May 19th, and as we've talked about, Massie's currently locked in a race where the combined ad spending is topped $25 million. You've got Trump-backed challenger Ed Galrain outspending Massie roughly $14 million to $10 million. This is a race where you have AI-generated ads accusing Massie of cheating on the America First movement with AOC and Ilhan Omar. There are insults and counter-insults on every social issue that you can name. And the reason that this primary is expensive is that Massie's become one of the loudest Republican critics of Donald Trump, especially around the release of the Epstein files. And among other things, he was the only Republican to publicly push back on Pam Bondi at a congressional hearing earlier this year on it. And Trump has, in response, made personally destroying Massie's career a stated political project. Polling from April showed Massie in the lead, but even he has said that this is going to be a close race. You've got people like Candace Owens echoing these concerns, saying that we cannot lose Massie to the donor class. So the stakes, they're high, and it really will be a test of Trump's ability to personally sway races. So that is the backdrop, which brings us to the video that hit Twitter this morning. A video that appears to be a deposition-style recording from a woman identified as Cynthia West, a Florida school board candidate for Okaloosa County. It opens with a Kentucky attorney named Marcus Carey introducing the situation, saying that West was nervous about coming forward and needed encouragement to share her story. The video then cutting to a single camera on West herself, and in her account, West alleges that 2 months after Massie's wife of 31 years, Rhonda, passed away from cancer in June of 2024, Massie reached out to her on social media and they began a brief romantic relationship.
Like I said, it was very intense, very quick. He wanted to move to the next stages very, very quickly.
He alleges that Massie helped her obtain a position as a congressional staffer, not in his own office, but in another lawmaker's office.
This was my fairy tale, so I thought, right? And so I didn't have a job, but then he texted me and he got a job for me at another congressional office that would have allowed me to work that schedule to be with him.
She then alleges that she ended the relationship over uncomfortable behavior, that she was subsequently fired from her congressional staff job, that she believes that it was retaliatory, and that she filed an ethics complaint naming Massie.
He wanted me to engage in behavior that I wasn't comfortable, so I couldn't stay in that relationship. I would say emotionally abusive.
What'd you do?
I mean, at that point, I broke up with him.
And then she also alleged that Massie attempted to keep her quiet through a cash offer and a later $60,000 settlement conditioned on signing an NDA, which she says that she refused.
Have they made any efforts to resolve this?
Yes. So I have an offer at the House for approval, but settlement.
You have an offer of what?
Settlement for $60,000 to settle the case and for the retaliatory discharge in the Congressional Accountability Act violation with the Office of Victoria Sparks. But if I do that, then I have to sign an NDA, and so I can't do that.
You'll also have to mention with this video, at least as a recording, is that none of the specific claims have been independently confirmed, and Massie and his team have not yet responded as of recording. It also really has only gotten attention in right-wing circles so far. Even though it was trending really high on Twitter this morning, it was very contained in its own bubble. It didn't make major headlines in the mainstream papers, and that ends up limiting the kinds of responses and conversations surrounding it. But that then brings us to why the source is such a big topic of conversation. You've got plenty of people today noting that Marcus Carey, the attorney who recorded and released this video, has a documented on-the-record history with Thomas Massie that the video does not mention. In May of 2012, which was Massie's very first congressional primary, Mark Carey was one of his opponents on the Republican ballot, with Massie winning that primary. Also, just 5 days ago, the Dispatch published a deep dive profile on the current primary fight. And in that article, Marcus Carey is quoted on the record describing himself as a supporter of Ed Galrain, the Trump-backed candidate Massie's running against right now, with the Dispatch identifying Carey as an attorney and longtime GOP operative who lives in Owen County and is backing Galrain. And his direct quote to the Dispatch was that Massie won't wear the uniform and won't stand with the troops. But with all that said, as far as the reaction, especially from the right-wing internet, it's been kind of split down the middle. Right on one side, you've got accounts using the video to argue that Massie is a hypocrite who built a brand on Epstein transparency while allegedly behaving badly himself. Then, on the other side, you've got conservatives saying this is nonsense, that this is just a, quote, desperate and vile way of trying to take a swing when they can't beat a man at the ballot box. But some even drawing a comparison to Trump and saying MAGA used to not fall for this, now it's what they do. And while we wait to see if Massey responds or what comes next. One of the big questions is, does this move the needle? And regarding whether this affects the primary depends kind of on three things. One, how Massey responds. Does he stay silent? Does he respond badly? Does he produce evidence that the allegations are fabricated? Two, whether the mainstream press picks it up. Right now, it really hasn't. You know, if a major outlet independently verifies any piece of West's account, that definitely shifts this in a lot of people's eyes. And three, how local voters actually read the situation. Massey's base is, by seemingly every account, unusually personally loyal to him. And he actually just recently gave a 2-hour interview with Tucker Carlson laying out exactly this kind of attack playbook in advance. And so there is a chance that framing this as a smear attempt, it could actually help him with certain voters. But again, there are multiple variables that we just don't know how it's going to play out right now. And it's involving a race that is very, very tight, right? And this is already a primary that we had eyes on because it is fundamentally about whether the Republican Party can tolerate dissent from Trump. Most Republicans who criticize the president become former Republican representatives. Many just don't even run for re-election. For now, we'll have to wait to see what happens. And then there's more we've got to dive into in just a minute, but first let me thank a sponsor and say, yeah.
Look at that. One of a kind. And I know you want it.
I have the amount. Now how am I
don't know, but your security here. What the? Security!
As you can see, we're in control. Take advantage of our generosity. Take the money.
All right. Okay. It's all.
Well done. Pressure tactics, but we got what we were after. Go home, shall we?
Stop right there.
We don't need to do this.
Stop right there.
All right.
Hand over Mr. Slayton. It's my employer's. Not happening. I'm listening. Hold on. Let's keep me. Huh. All right.
Slayton is a man of considerable resources. Sending our men into the Astral Lounge. Slayton must be serious about getting the artifact back. We better get off the planet quickly.
I don't like the look of you.
Asa. Something's going.
Slayton has put a bounty on your heads.
There goes our way out. The same way everything. Agreed.
Slayton Aerospace has.
Let's head to their lobby.
You ever spend more time figuring out what's for dinner than actually making dinner? Somehow the /Franco10FM to get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. Because honestly, nothing hits like home cooking. But then, getting right back into the news, the war against Iran, it's pushed inflation to its highest level in years. The estimated cost of that war has risen $4 billion in just the past 2 weeks. And while Trump and his cronies, they claim that it's going to be over soon, the regime, they're expanding their claim over the Strait of Hormuz and threatening to bring the stockpile of uranium that it still possesses to weapons grade. Right, but let's start with what's most directly affecting everyday Americans, and that is higher prices. Because according to new official data, year-over-year inflation hasn't been this high since May of 2023. You've got the Bureau of Labor Statistics reporting that the Consumer Price Index grew by 3.8% in April compared to the previous.
Can I help you? Sarah.
I'm afraid Mr. Arguments with Mr. Slayton. No. I'm afraid we just... Welcome to Slayton Aerospace. We're only taking meetings with our preferred clients at the moment.
You don't belong. Recommending auxiliary washes hands after collection. defenses. Attempting painless elimination.
Wait. This clearly isn't the executive level. He's on to us.
Walter, taking what's mine and then breaking into my office.
Oh, we're trapped.
Hello, Walter, dear, are you there?
Issa?
Took longer than I'd like, but I managed to pay off one of Slayton's security consultants. They've patched me in.
All right, we've got her out. I'm aware of the...
Doors will open in 3, 2, 1. Slayton's guards and employees are all over. Be careful. Okay. You'll want to use the vent system to just to the right of the elevator you came in on. Security is on full alert. No point slipping through unnoticed now. You'll have to fight your way to the exit.
Listen for Issa's cues. You're doing Constellation proud.
Hold on while I steal anything that isn't, you know, bolted down.
respect, does it?
There's a series of catwalks that lead directly up one floor to the executive level.
Well, I guess after you.
Sorry.
Previous year, up from 3.3% growth in March and 2.4% in February. And this comes as the jobs report released last Friday showed that wages only went up 3.6%, meaning that it is also the first time that inflation is outpacing wage growth since 2023, which is then why you have people like the chief economist at Navy Federal Credit Union telling CNBC, inflation is the key drag on the US economy now, saying this is hurting Americans. And actually, it may be even worse than the government's numbers suggest. Or with one firm which tracks daily prices of millions of consumer products sold by online retailers finding that the annual inflation rate actually reached 4.5% as of mid-April, saying that it increased by almost a whole percent from March to April, which marked the third largest single-month increase in the index history, going back to 2008. Now that said, you also had the head of this firm noting in a press release that food, household equipment, and health prices showed relatively normal seasonal increases, saying the only small comfort is that for now, the dramatic moves in inflation are largely related to fuel prices, but also it's not a ton of comfort for the lower income Americans that are hit hardest by rising gas prices, which by the way are up roughly 30% since last year and roughly 50% up since the start of the war. It's gotten so bad that Trump's now confirmed that he'd like to suspend the federal gas tax, but also that'd only help a bit. That would shave about 18 cents off a gallon, and that 50% increase, it's equated to around an extra $1.50 on average. So helpful, but not what I think a lot of people are wanting, which is anything with a massive impact. Plus, it would require congressional approval. And while in this case, you've got some Republicans and even some Democrats getting behind the idea, you've also had members of both parties seeming skeptical. Or with some noting that this would mean lost revenue for the Highway Trust Fund, which is the main federal funding source for highway and mass transit projects in the country. Right? Everything is connected to everything, and so a gas tax suspension could mean delayed road work and repairs. All while we're likely waiting for the increased cost of fuel to translate more and more into higher prices for other products. Or with Citigroup, for example, telling its clients just this week that energy costs likely would not start to feed through to core goods prices for at least a few more months. And while current inflation is still well below 2022, which reached a 40-year high at 9.1% year over year, though of course people treat those as the COVID years, you still also have some economists suggesting that we are on track to eclipse that. One recent analysis actually drew a parallel between the situation today and the situation in the late 1970s, or when the Iranian Revolution kicked off what the authors described as a second and more severe wave of inflation, followed by an initial wave a few years earlier, with them explaining the Great Inflation was not the initial surge, it was the failure to prevent the second one. And of course, all of this, it's also been paid for with tax dollars, though the question is how much? Well, with that, last month you had Pentagon Comptroller Jules Hurst telling lawmakers that the war had come up with a $25 billion price tag up until that point. And then today, while joining Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to defend the Pentagon's record-setting $1.5 trillion funding request, he said that the number had gone up to $29 billion, saying that this new estimate was because of updated repair and replacement of equipment costs and also just general operational costs to keep people in theater. And with that, also saying that the number is subject to change depending on both ongoing assessments of the damage and what happens next. Which is an important note because, as we talked about, Trump recently rejected Iran's latest offer as totally unacceptable. And with that, yesterday he said that the ceasefire is the weakest it has been and describing it as being on massive life support. Then today, he said in an interview, it's just a question of time. We don't have to rush anything, and adding, we've wiped out their Navy, we've wiped out their Air Force, we've wiped out their leadership. I think we'll get there with them, and 100% we get the nuclear dust. Right there, he's referring to Iran's stockpile of nearly 1,000 pounds of uranium that's enriched to 60%. And it's also something that he pretty much has to get out of there if he has any chance of kind of trying to play this off as a win of some sort. But Iran, at least publicly, has given no indication that it's going to let that happen. You had a national security spokesperson in Iran's parliament actually claiming today that if the US or Israel attack Iran again, it would consider enriching this uranium to 90%, which is considered weapons grade. You also recently had a government spokesperson saying Iran is still ready to go after fighting a 40-day war with the world's greatest military power. You had an official with the Revolutionary Guard Corps Naval Forces saying that the regime had expanded its definition of the Strait of Hormuz, saying in the past the strait was defined as a limited area around islands such as Hormuz and Hengam, but today that has changed. The strait has grown larger and has turned into a vast operational area. But then also today you had Hegseth arguing,
but ultimately we control the strait because nothing's going in that we don't allow to go in.
Also, you had him claiming that it's evident that the ceasefire remains in effect.
As you know, for the most part, a ceasefire means fire is ceasing, and we know that has occurred while negotiations occur.
But of course, the fire hasn't actually totally ceased. Iran has not only attacked several countries in the region, but also targeted American forces. And the US has fought off those attacks while also launching strikes on Iranian territory in response. And on the question of whether the US would attack Iran again, Hegseth wouldn't give any information, but he said it remains a possibility and that the conflict will ultimately be resolved on Trump's terms.
We have a plan to escalate if necessary. We have a plan to retrograde if necessary. We have a plan to shift assets. How this gets resolved will be on our terms, on President Trump's terms, and we have all the munitions and capabilities necessary to enable that.
But on that last part, while the U.S. may have enough for whatever comes next with Iran, the real question is whether it has enough for what might come after that. And that doesn't seem to be a question that Hegseth is too keen on answering.
The munitions issue has been foolishly and unhelpfully overstated. We know exactly what we have. We have plenty of what we need.
With that coming just days after Democratic Senator Mark Kelly told CBS News' Face the Nation that it is shocking how deep the U.S. has gone into its munition stockpiles. And that's not just yapping. That is a claim backed up by independent reporting from multiple media outlets and the Center for Strategic and International Studies. And in fact, Hegseth himself had this exchange with Kelly in his previous testimony before Congress.
We can't make these munitions overnight, and it's clear from your budget request that you know that. Can you tell us how many years specifically is it going to take to replace these systems?
I think that's exactly the right question, too, Senator, because the time frame we were existing under was unacceptable.
Okay, well,
and what this budget does, months and years, fast.
Years.
I mean, we're building new plants in real time.
So just to replace what we have expended.
I said months.
And then you said years.
It depends on the weapon system.
But despite all that, after Kelly's comments on CBS, Hegseth accused him of leaking classified information and announced that the Pentagon would review his actions. With this coming only a few days after an appeals court seemed to reject Hegseth's attempt to punish Kelly for being one of the several Democratic veterans turned lawmakers publicly urging service members to refuse illegal orders. Right, even after a federal judge already ruled earlier this year that the Pentagon's efforts were unconstitutionally retaliatory. And actually had Kelly responding to this latest effort by denying the accusation and sharing the clip of their previous exchange and adding, "That's not classified, it's a quote from you." And then there's more that we've got to dive into in just a minute, but first let me thank a sponsor and say, imagine getting a call from someone you trust, same voice, same tone, asking for help, and then it's not actually them. That's not the plot of some movie. That is a real scam that's happening right now. Scammers are using AI to clone voices from clips online and trick people, even banks, into sending money. So yeah, we've officially entered the part of the internet where you can't even trust what you're hearing anymore. And it's yet another reason to have today's sponsor, NordVPN. When something as personal as your voice can be faked, your digital security overall, it matters more than ever. And NordVPN protects risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. But then, diving right back into the news, the mayor of an American city just confessed to working in the United States as an illegal agent of a foreign government. And that government's not just any government, it is the People's Republic of China.
Everyone, my name is Aileen Wayne. Public safety, homeless issue, transportation, education, all are my priority.
So that's Eileen Wang. She's the 58-year-old mayor, or I guess as of yesterday, former mayor of Arcadia, which is a city in Southern California's San Gabriel Valley, just northeast of downtown LA. And it's home to about 56,000 people, nearly 60% of which identify as Asian, but really residents of all ethnicities were shocked to learn that their mayor took direct orders from the CCP. But also, I've got to say, looking into it now, and maybe it's like looking, hindsight's 2020, you could tell that something was a bit off about her from the start, just judging by her strange campaign videos. Right? In several of them, you just watch her walking around random locations while extremely intense EDM plays, and even some frankly god-awful country music that kind of sounds AI generated. While you might not be totally sure how that was supposed to persuade people to vote for her, it somehow worked, because in late 2022, she got elected to the Arcadia City Council, from which she was then selected to be mayor.
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
I firmly oppose any attempt by any foreign governments to influence or interfere.
One of the big things here is that people have been suspicious of her for a while now, and that in part because in late 2024, her campaign manager and treasurer, Mike Sun, whom she called her boyfriend and fiance, was also charged with being a Chinese spy. And so then everyone's eyes kind of went towards Wang, and she was like, Mike Sun, who's that?
Number one, he's not my fiancé. Whoever wants to see he's my fiancé or former fiancé, please prove it.
And this, even though she herself said the opposite previously.
To my fiancé, Director Mike Sun.
So then people were like, okay, yeah, she might be a Chinese spy.
Excuse me, Miss Wong. Can we speak with you about these allegations?
Can you just give us your reaction to the sentence?
Well, it turns out the skeptics were right, because the Justice Department announced that she has agreed to plead guilty to working for the CCP, chiefly by running a pro-Beijing propaganda outfit.
They'll hang her.
It was called U.S. News Center, and at first glance, it looks pretty legit, but sprinkled in there were articles denying human rights abuses in China and otherwise promoting Beijing's interests. And well, according to the DOJ, those articles were pre-written by the Chinese government, sent over to Wang and Sun via WeChat, and then posted online. One time, Wang even allegedly received edits from a PRC official, made the revisions, and then sent back a screenshot showing the article had been viewed over 15,000 times. The the official responding, great, to which Wang allegedly said, "Thank you, leader." And it appears to go all the way to the top, with prosecutors alleging that Wang was in contact with John Chen, who's a high-level Chinese intelligence official who met personally with President Xi Jinping. And with that, they say, for example, that she once asked him to post an article and added, "This is what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs wants to send." So now, both Chen and Sun are already in federal prison. Wang's facing up to 10 years too, though she will likely get a more lenient sentence thanks to her plea deal. And or if maybe she buys enough Trump meme coin. At least for now, her attorney's defense is that 1, she's very sorry for spying on the United States, and 2, her espionage took place before she was elected, not after. Which is true, but it also doesn't appear that the feds are claiming that she acted on behalf of China in her capacity as mayor. But really, either way, it's just kind of crazy that someone who was elected to represent an entire city actually represented the Chinese government. But then, for our final story today, we should talk about the situation in Alabama that just raised the stakes for their primaries and midterms. Because black voters there just lost their voice at the polls with the Supreme Court decision that's going to leave them with only one district, even though they make up a quarter of the state's population. It'll likely give Republicans at least one more seat in the House after the midterms. And now, people are saying that it's no longer just speculation, that we're not just being dramatic, that the writing is on the wall. They're taking away the black vote in the South. Because back in 2023, Alabama's Republicans drew maps that got shot down by a lower court who said that they had diluted the black vote. And to fix it, they were supposed to draw a second majority black district. When Republicans circled back again, they left that second district out. So at that point, the panel of federal judges drew Alabama's maps with the extra black district, and that eventually gave Shamari Figures a seat in the House. By the way, that was only a few years ago, and it was the first time in history that they had 2 black representatives despite how big the black population is there. And those maps were supposed to stay put until the next census, but that is out the window with yesterday's decision. Since they gutted the Voting Rights Act, Alabama Republicans have been thinking ahead. And so they've already passed the bills needed to make sure that once this decision came, they were cleared to hold special primary elections in the districts that would be changing. So now we got basically no Voting Rights Act, no bar on when they can't throw new maps into the mix. The primaries are literally around the corner, and the case for these new maps is being sent back downstream. And really, unless Democrats can pull off some sort of miracle, it's not looking good there. And as far as responses go, the dissenting judges sounded off. And their main point was they may have gotten the RA out of here, but the 14th Amendment still stands. With that, Justice Sonia Sotomayor said nothing in the district court's 14th Amendment analysis is affected by this court's opinion in Calais. Said not a word about the standard for 14th Amendment intentional discrimination claims. Or in other words, she's saying that the Louisiana decision only fixed half of the problem with these new maps, but the issues around discrimination are still there. And then on top of that, Sotomayor said that this will cause only confusion as Alabamians begin to vote in the elections scheduled for next week, because Alabama is set to move forward with their primaries on the 19th. So that means 4 districts are going to be wondering if their voting locations are going to change, how they'll make any transportation adjustments, questions that they really only have a few days to figure out. And the majority of justices' response to all this is, well, we don't know because they didn't give one. But Alabama Republicans are saying that this is a massive
point. I'm not liking what I'm seeing on the scans. If we spin up the grav drive now. You really want to risk a straight fight with an enemy we know nothing about? We can wait no longer. Prepare yourselves for oblivion. Target has lost its engines. I've never heard of these Star Wars. The speculation part of my brain is in overdrive. We need to regroup at the lodge immediately. Tell Noel to analyze the data of the ship's sensors.
You see any of them, you come find us.
Everyone's going to want to weigh in on this.
A victory not just for Alabama, but for the conservatives across the country.
Okay, so I've got to go, guys. I've got family dinner.